Yeah, that's probably yeah. That makes me think maybe I should give people free stuff. Then, huh? Pump up these numbers. I feel like it's always like a comfortable number of people. It feels like coffee with Eric. It's always between like 5 and 20 people or something. It seems like if it started to get up to like crazy numbers, it would start to be intimidating or something. Like or you get to where like there's too many people talking and it's unmanageable. So I kind of feel like it's good where we have it. But it could be fun to do prizes too. What about iOS update? Uh, what about 1.8 update? Oh my gosh, questions are coming fast and furious already. So yeah, I guess I can just jump into updates. Basically, I am still working on the 1.8 update, which is starting to get. I don't want to tease it too much yet, but it's starting to get very close. Um, you know, I hate giving dates. Everyone knows I hate giving dates because I always miss those dates or they're never accurate or whatever. But I'm really hoping, yeah, like this spring, basically I'll say. Which I guess it's already. I don't know. Is it the middle? I guess it's already the middle of spring. Never mind. So maybe by the end of spring, early summer, sometime in the next few months. That's my hope. Um, I'm working my way through my to do list for 1.8, and yeah, so 1.8, for anyone who doesn't know, 1.8 will basically add the big remaining feature is downloadable assets. So that means we'll be able to like add maps and things like that, and people should be able to just like automatically download those maps or textures or whatever when you join servers. Um, I'm still not 100% sure how it'll work for characters yet. I gotta look into that. I might want to like add some weird special support because the weird thing with characters is if you think about it, like the technical challenge there, when you join a server, it's like going to a web page or something. Like your browser knows to like download, the textures it needs, or the PNGs or the JPEGs or whatever that it needs. So it'll be just like that. But with characters, it's kind of opposite in a way, because like if someone joins the server, then it's almost like they would need to like upload their character textures to that server, or it's like a different thing because it's not like the server has a set of things it's using. It's like the characters joining the server kind of determine what gets downloaded. Um, but anyway, that's not to get into weird technical mumbo jumbo, but yeah, it might be like 1.8.0 just supports like downloadable maps and assets and things like that, and then characters might follow up in like 1.8 point something. What is this? Still, we need a way to like play these like half screen. It's either like full screen or nothing. What the heck? Oh my god. This is intense. That's the proper way to do an Easter egg hunt. Very cool. Jeez. Oh yeah, sorry, iPhone people. It'll be coming soon. I have an iPhone as well, so I know that makes zero sense that it's on Android and not iOS right now. But it's my plan is to do, yeah, the 2.0 will be iOS and Steam. That's the big kind of relaunch plan. Um, and partly the reason for that is for one, I need to finish polishing up iOS, um, and also Steam. I need like there's little bits. I mean, it's already running on Windows. It's already running on Linux, so I can get it on Steam. It's already running on iOS. It just like there's parts that need to be polished up and fixed and whatever. So I need to do that. But first and foremost is I need to get to the game to a point like it's right in the middle of transitioning it all to be more online play and things like that. So I'm spinning up tons of servers and putting all this infrastructure in place. And right now, that infrastructure is not yet paying for itself. So I'm at this weird, awkward place where I don't want to scale the game up right now because that basically would cost me more money instead of making more money. So not that it's all about money, but if the game is costing more than it makes, not a good time to scale up. So that's why I want to get through 1.8, 1.9, get to the new economy, squad system, all that, where the game is sustainable, and then at that time launch on iOS and launch on Steam. So that's the plan anyway, which I am slowly working towards. Um, but I'm sorry for iOS folks. I hate making you wait. I hate, you feeling like second class citizens or anything like that. But getting there. What's our cup today? I am so boring. I need to. My cup today is still my Cyber Cup. It's Ember. It's called. The weird smart coffee cup that keeps itself warm, which I love to death. But it's so boring. I need to just like start painting something on it once a week or something like that. Or I need to petition Ember to like make little covers or something like that, so that you can have interesting looking coffee cups instead of just like black. So yeah, so boring. But I should just use one of my different cups just for coffee with Eric. Um, I need to remember to do that. Or I could like edit this in post, composite a good looking cup over it with After Effects or something. Yeah, see, I should get the Zelda cup. That's probably my favorite coffee cup overall. Is yeah, my Zelda cup. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this coffee. I don't know if you can see that here. So anyway, today is one of those like no real agenda days, just kind of checking in, and it's been 2 weeks since the last coffee with Eric. So last week I was at GDC. If anyone noticed, I was less around than I usually am, which is not much around. But GDC is Game Developer Conference, so it's this big conference in San Francisco once a year. So that was quite interesting. Went to a bunch of talks with different game developers and things like that. Learned some interesting little tidbits here there. I went to one interesting talk by the guy. He was one of the lead like AI programmers for one of the Sims games. So it was interesting to see like the ingredients they put in to make smart AI. Like, not that the Sims is like crazy smart AI or whatever compared to modern machine learning stuff and whatever, but it's interesting to see like how video game AI is put together by a very smart person who knows what they're doing, as opposed to like me writing spaz AIs, which is just like kind of making it up and not really having any concepts. Um, if you want to ping me after this, I can try to take a look with your account. Oh yeah. Yeah. Shall go ahead and show the share replay thing. That almost looked bad, but yeah, feel free. How in the world to share the? I mean, for me, it's always just this little. There's a share screen button down here. Do I have to like stop sharing and then you can share, or stop streaming? Okay, I'm gonna poke stop streaming for just a moment. Um, I'll see. Oh, yeah, maybe I have to do that now. Can you? Okay, so you're here, but can you stream? Okay, I'm gonna stop streaming. See if you can. Okay, cool. So Vishal's been making an option for sharing replays. Did something go wrong with the script there, or?
I think I can talk.
Yeah, I can hear
Can
you.
you hear me?
We can hear you.
Uh, so the folders was just so here you can put your shared replace files and you can see in this tab.
Uh-huh.
In here share it. If this is if this returns as none, then it will only show the download button. But when it returns a link, it will show us the get cloud link button to
Okay.
send. That's mostly it.
Oh, okay. So that's like if we implement like cloud sharing stuff. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Very nifty. So, all right, I'll go back to cool stuff. So Vishal and I were talking a little bit about the idea of replay sharing. So he's building the system where you can basically have a folder in your plugins folder, or a directory in your plugins directory where you can basically share replays with other people, and it's kind of an easy way to do that. We're talking about the idea of like cloud replays too, which goes into future plans. Like I don't know if that'll be anytime soon, or if that'll be for the existing replays or whatever. But there's the idea too. It'd be kind of cool if you can just, if you have a replay, you can like save it with your account, and that would go up to the cloud or something, and then you could give people like a link to download the replay. So that's another option. Um, but I'm wondering, like, maybe this system where it's just like a local folder, maybe that would work well for like the existing like classic replay system, and then maybe once squads mode kind of comes into the picture, maybe that would all be like cloud-based replays. I'm wondering if that might be like a good separation. Um, so, but yeah, very cool stuff. So thank you for showing that. We should try to get that wrapped in at some point and chat a bit more about it. Some time to play BS. Yeah, we could play a bit later. Like I said, there's no strict agenda for today. It's more just a random chat about whatever day. So I'm down to play a bit at the end. Let's see. And in terms of like other stuff new on my end, so aside from going to that conference this last week, I have been mainly working towards the 1.8 stuff, so asset packages. The big thing right now is just cleaning up my server system so I can run like asset builds on my servers. That's all these things I've shown a bajillion times before. These little purple dots. Um, Oh, and random news, there's two new server locations. One, which probably doesn't matter to anyone, is Calgary, Canada. There's nobody up here. But the other one is Tel Aviv over here. So this is kind of, I was happy that one popped up. It's sort of like in an uncovered area here. So that um, hopefully that means some people will have smaller pings if you're playing on cloud servers in this area. Um, there's a few more that's supposed to open somewhere around here. I know AWS is supposed to be launching some new locations still too, so I forgot which ones. But anytime one opens up, I will add servers there. So hopefully, if anyone is having high lag, we will hopefully get that lag down. Um, Partly through like having more servers close to people, and hopefully partly through the game at some point too. There's a few big things I need to do still, like reduce the bandwidth the game uses, and then also get some sort of client prediction if possible. Both of those should continue to help the lag situation, but at least like opening servers close to people is another big help too. So this is I'm always happy when new servers pop up. Oh, there's one other one that I'm still waiting for. AWS is supposed to be, let's see, local zones. A big one that I think will be helpful is right here. I forgot which city that is, but that's kind of South America is pretty popular, and like there's nothing right here. So I think it'll be nice to have a server here. It'll cover upper South America and kind of lower Central America. What city is that? Let me see. It's one of these. I am not seeing. We already have. We already got that one. Okay, well, it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, submarines. Do we have submarines? Yeah, we got one submarine over here out east of Madagascar, it looks like. Yeah, maybe that's another submarine. There's a few. Looks like there's a few submarines out. They're not very deep though, so there must be not on big missions. There's still. I still need to figure out. I got to put some debug logging in there. So these green lines basically when you spin up the game, it tries to figure out the closest server to you, and then it establishes a persistent connection. And so this is anytime that you'd be sending chat messages or this or that, like certain things like that would always go through this little green pipe. And so that's why I'm drawing these lines to try to make sure that I'm like connecting people to the closest servers. But there's always these little weird ones like this. Like, why is this dude down in Africa connecting to Texas? Like, that makes no darn sense. So I'm really, I want to get some debugging code in there to try to figure out like why was this decision made? Like why was that the best choice? I'm curious if it was just, a random ping that came out bad. Because basically what happens is like this little dude here in Africa spins up the game, which then it pings like the master server here in California, and the master server says like, hey dude in Africa, like here's like the 5 closest servers to you. Why don't you give them a try? So it'd be like, hey, try this one, maybe this one, this one. It like figures out geographically like which 5 are the closest. And so it should basically like this guy should be like pinging him, maybe one of these, and then picking the best. So I'm really curious, like what happened there? Like maybe the message on like which ones to try to ping didn't go through or something. But yeah, for some reason, there's also fallbacks. Like if the master server can't tell like where this guy's connecting from, then this guy will just try like random servers throughout the world. So maybe that's happening. But if the server can't tell where he's connecting from, then like why is he showing up on the map? See, all these like weird little questions. Getting this stuff like working perfectly is it's a fun challenge. But yeah, like I feel like I'm almost seeing more of that lately. There's a lot of these lines crossing the Atlantic here, so there's a number of people in Europe connecting to the U.S. or vice versa. And to me, it seems like that shouldn't happen naturally. So it looks like the vast majority of people are connecting to the closest server, but there's always these random flukish ones. So it just makes me wonder how I can track that down and figure out what's going wrong. So it's a really interesting process, like working on this server stuff, trying to basically, it's like debugging stuff without having any access to the the person's phone or anything. You just have to like have log messages and send those back to the server and see like, okay, this guy says he's connecting to this, but why? So anyway, sorry, getting off on a random submarine tangent. So basically what I've been working on is kind of clearing up this whole server system, just making the thing smarter about like when it spins up servers. Oh, here's the new Tel Aviv. There's currently 3 servers in Tel Aviv. Not a ton of activity there, but yeah. So right now I'm just kind of cleaning the system up because in addition to be like hosting games, I will start running some builds on some of these servers. So that would be basically like pinging this guy here, like, hey, you don't look busy. Why don't you compile this texture for me or something like that? Which works out well because there's a lot of servers in the US that are not getting used. As I mentioned, US is largely iPhone. I think there's more iPhone people than Android people here, so I have strangely few players in the US, despite living in the US. But that means there's a lot of servers here that are like not doing much, so I can use those to build assets or run run code tests or whatever I need them to do. They're sitting there with CPU cycles to spare, so I might as well make use of them. So anyway, that's what I've been up to, is a lot of server coding this last the last few days. Before that, I was at GDC for the games conference. Yeah. Party with AI players. Do you know the name of it? Is there like a specific? Does someone have a server with AI players? Who was it who was showing the cool AI he was building a while back? I lose track. There's so many folks. It's um, fix this in this episode. It sounds so terrifying. Like, I don't know. I've done like a live coding thing or two, but I feel like just knowing somebody's watching me makes me like 3 times dumber. Blah. Whoa, this one sounds complicated. Oh, geez, this is an old bug. Spaz goes toward the flag with a sticky bomb stuck to his head. Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that we'd be able to. That sounds like something that would probably need some low-level stuff to fix. Like, I think that's probably low-level node physics interaction stuff. Yeah, which probably would require some kind of elaborate testing in terms of setting this up on a server and editing the server code and tweaking. Yeah, ugh. Yeah, this doesn't sound like a fun bug to fix. Oh yeah, it's like the bug graveyard, or not a graveyard, but there's so many things that, to-do lists and bug lists and things like that, where I add something like, oh hey, this is broken and this needs to be fixed, but it never bubbles to the top of the list. So yeah, something like this, I would imagine a good time to fix it would be like Scene V2 or something where I'm like in there digging around in gameplay code. Like right now, I imagine it might break more than it fixes if I like messed with Scene V1 sticky code. So I kind of wouldn't want to. There might be like a hacky way to like fix it per game or something like that, or something like before you teleport the character, if there's something stuck to them, delete the stuck thing, or something like that, where you could like make a workaround for it, which is ugly and I hate, but it does seem like at some point when code bases are very established, like the Scene V1 stuff is right now, it's almost better to do hacky workarounds than it is to try and fix fundamental issues, even like slight fundamental issues. Because I feel like any substantial change is going to break so many mods and break so much like subtle gameplay and things like that. So I kind of feel that changing how the sticky physics work might be one of those things where it'd be good to maybe fix it in a future version, like a Scene V2 or something where we're starting over, not starting over, but something where like everything is changing anyway, and anything built on top of it can account for those changes. But yeah, changing very established code seems like scary. So yeah, I'll probably be punting on that one for now. So, try those. Like you tried like hacky stuff. Share your to-do list. I don't have a to-do list at this point. I've had several in the past. I'm curious actually. Let me see if I can find some of my old to-do lists. Work. No. Was this to-do lists? Oh, here. Yeah, here's some old to-do list. I am curious. This is probably from like 7 years ago. Battle plan, secondary currency, leagues revamped, new parties. It'd be interesting to go through this and see like what of this is actually still relevant at all, and what of this is just completely uh, not punch through. Not doing that. Um, is that polish the icon or a Polish icon? I assume polish. Tower of Want. I think I heard that term at like a conference once. Tower of Want. Inventory tournament, unlock levels into client prediction. Yeah, so much. Oh, 1.3.5 new. You can see how old this is. Oh my gosh. Unlock race with landmine. Oh, I actually got that one in there. Right? There's one of the races has landmines now. So see, something on the to-do list got done. Yeah, see, something like that. That would be my guess for how one would want to treat that. Something. Um, I mean, there might be a way to fix it in the physics engine in like a clean way. You know, like a. But even that might be sort of hacky. Where like the prop node, you could do something like if the prop node gets teleported, then release any sticky connections it has, or something like that. Um, or if the thing that it's stuck to gets teleported. You know, if suddenly there's a big change in like position of the thing it's stuck to, then go ahead and release. Um, like I think I want to say the way the sticky connection works, it's a little like rigid body constraint. That's called like a fixed constraint that basically holds one thing to another. So it holds like the little bomb sphere to say like Spaz's head or something like that. And the way it works is I think if it stretches far enough, it will delete itself. So that's kind of how the sticky connection works. It's just this, it's kind of like a spring. And if you pull it long enough, if the spring gets far enough, it'll delete itself. So there might just be something where like if it gets pulled really far in one step because like someone teleported, right now it's probably applying a spring force and then deleting itself. So maybe we'd want to like, maybe if we flipped that order, maybe if it deleted itself before applying the spring force, like maybe that would work. That could be worth looking into. So it would be something like we just have to see when I guess there's an update that runs. Yeah, there's like the simulation steps, and then all the nodes have like update calls. The update just means like they can do whatever they need to do. So we would just have to do something where, yeah, I don't know. We'd have to dig around in it and just see if we could do something where like if it gets pulled apart really far, it just breaks. It doesn't slingshot back and then break. Angry Birds game with Bomb Squad characters. That would be fun, honestly. Something like that. I apologies if I've mentioned this before, but part of my reason for making Bomb Squad the way I did, just kind of making it mini game based, is because it would be fun to like mess around with different mini games like that, or different physics styles. You know, basically taking something like the Happy Thoughts mode, like the 2D flying mode, and just do some other weird 2D stuff. That could be cool. Cool to mess around with. So that's why in scenes mode or scenes v2 and squads mode and stuff like that, I definitely want to start opening up the possibilities more. I know scene v1, the existing stuff is very kind of there's a lot of limitations in terms of there's attributes that are not available. Everyone's always talking like being able to like rotate props, things like that. There's missing stuff like that, so it's definitely limited. But yeah, my goal going forward is it'd be fun to kind of make a cleaned up version that is less limited. So I'm hoping to be doing that over time. Check. Oh no, oh man, PRs again. I swear, I just cleaned out the PRs. They keep coming back. How many PRs do we have? Oh, there's only 2. That's not bad. A few changes. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, I can definitely pull in. I should pull in both of these. I can try to maybe pull them in today. Yeah, I definitely, the Sphinx doc stuff is awesome. I would love to take a look at that, and then maybe it'd be good to wire it up to the automatic stuff. Like if you go to, just ballistica.net, there's there's this docs link here, which is, this is the old PDoc documentation. So if the Sphinx stuff is better, we should have this like wired up to that. This basically gets regenerated every night, so it stays up to date. Or we could just have both. I mean, we could have PDoc and Sphinx. Like, take your pick. I don't know. So yeah, I'll try to pull in those PRs soon. If anyone didn't notice, the official final 1.7.33 went out a few days ago. I updated the official Mac App Store version, Google Play version, and Amazon version, and all these test builds are up to date. And I also, if you go to GitHub, there should be an official release on here too. I try to do that whenever, or sometimes. If you go to tags, you'll see, the official 1.7.3.3 3 days ago. So it's kind of just like, I'm trying to like flesh out a system for like, I'll iterate on a version for a while, and then at some point like that becomes the final version. Basically what I'm finding is Google Play is very easy to upload to, or, it's very easy to spit out new versions to Google Play. So what I'm doing is usually I'll spit out a version on Google Play, like fix any bugs that I see come in and iterate a few times. And then once things are pretty stable, then I will spit out like Amazon versions and the official Apple version, or the official, at least the Mac App Store version, and then this tagged version here. So that's kind of like declaring it final. So the next thing I push will probably be incrementing the version number to 1.7.3.4. Oh, I missed workflow for deploying docs to GitHub pages. Oh, that sounds super cool. I would be. I love it. In the parallel reality, Spaz is sitting there with his his electronic coffee cup, like showing a game with like me jumping around, collecting Easter eggs or something like that. Oh, that is awesome. I need to. There. You get a click. That's true. It doesn't. Maybe they just have very small mouths. You just can't see them. Or they open up from like nothing. It's like an Oculus. Like, it's kind of creepy. But to back up, deploying docs to GitHub pages. That could be, so like it deploys to like the GitHub wiki, or what do you mean when you say GitHub pages? It generates wiki stuff for you, or or is this like docs in the repository itself? Public IP address of someone on Android. So are you talking about for IP? Is this on a server that you own? Because it should be available in that case. I think there's like client info, which should have various stuff about the connected clients. Does that not include their IPs, or have you found that? It's like a janky. There's some old call for like get connected clients or get client info or something. It just returns like a dictionary with a bunch of junk in it. Trying to get hacking. Well, I mean, IP addresses, like obviously I don't want that to be public information. If someone, for other people, you shouldn't be able to join a server and get people's IPs in that server. But if you're hosting a server, like you are running the software that people are connecting to, so there's nothing stopping you from seeing which IP addresses are connecting to you. So I think that info should already be available, and it's probably not bad to make it available if it's not, just for the server owner. Unless it's not available and you guys think that would open up too much potential for like abusive stuff or people logging IPs. I don't know. There's a question with some of this stuff is like, even though it is technically possible, sometimes I feel like it's good to make it difficult to do, or, just to slow down casual script kiddies and stuff like that. Like there's certain things that technically the game has access to, but is not available from the Python layer, kind of for those reasons, just to kind of make it a little, like I said, stuff that would be technically possible because you're running this software, you can change it to do whatever you want, but But you know, if it's a little hard to change it to do nefarious stuff, I think that can be a good thing. But then again, being able to block people's IP who are spammers, like I think that sounds like a worthwhile cause. UI fix and calculation fix. Cool. I'll have to take a look at these. This one I'm not actually sure about. So like right now the mod utils, it basically says restart the game for it to take effect. If we do ba-base.quit, that does not always restart the game. I don't think. I'd have to double check, but like on mobile platforms, that'll just background the game basically. So like the concept of quitting on a mobile platform is not always the same. You know, if you're thinking like Windows or Linux or kind of classic stuff and you quit an app, that means like that app is gone, like you've killed the process. But in some cases on mobile, like the concept of quitting, I'd have to see like what, I don't remember like what ba-base.quit does, but like on Android, it might just background the app, which would not accomplish the right thing here. That's why, and also like on Android and iOS, like I don't think, I'm not sure on Android if you get in trouble for just like quitting the process. I don't, on iOS, I think you might, like it might register as a crash or something because you're not supposed to just quit the process. I'd have to check. But that way, like it might actually make sense to just tell the user like, hey, quit the app and restart it, because then they can do like swipe it off the screen, which will kill the process, I think. Anyway, yeah, just I'm not entirely sure, but just throwing it out there that the idea of quitting is a little more complicated than it might seem. Oh, print client list does not. Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking. If someone wants to dig into that, like that probably wouldn't be a terribly hard change. Is adding the IP address to the client list. You know, it should, the one there where it has like client ID and it might have like their verified state or something like that. And then yeah, it probably wouldn't be the end of the world to add IP address there. You know, again, as long as this is something that's only available to the server, obviously not to anyone else in the game. Yeah, I would do that if you're okay with that. Is I would just add back the screen message. I know it's, or I mean we could make that platform dependent. Like you could do something where it's like on you could check like on Android or on mobile. We could tell them to restart, and otherwise you could maybe print a message saying like quitting app, and then maybe 1 second later quit the app, just so they know what's happening. I also kind of feel like if you just have it quit the app immediately without any mention, it might come across as like, uh-oh, it crashed. Like this script is broken. Just a thought though. So I kind of feel like if you're doing something like that on behalf of the user, sometimes it's good to just print a message saying like restarting the app momentarily, and then do like a timer for like 1 second that does the quit or whatever. Um, well, again, I think even the timer case wouldn't do the right thing on mobile. I could be wrong. Like, are you testing on Android or are you on like Linux or Windows? I'd have to. I revamped the quit functionality recently. I don't remember if you do ba-base.quit if that actually will actually quit it on Android, or if that will just background it, you know, and kind of like reset the state. Um, so it would be good to know that, you know, just because we don't want to leave this like looking like it did something but not actually doing something for Android people. Okay, well if it is working on Android, if it is actually quitting out of the process, like maybe it's okay then. But I would suggest like have a message and then like the 1 second delay. I feel like that's a, or a half second, you know, just something where they can see like, oh, this is about to go down, you know, as opposed to like pressing a button and boom, like my app is gone. All right. So it sounds like this like blocking IP addresses. It sounds like maybe that would be, or making that, exposing that info to server owners. Need that like gif of like the guy with like the crazy just like light coming out of his head. Inventory. Woo, what is this? What? Oh my gosh, that's super cool. It's like Zelda. Or. Oh my gosh. That's super cool. That does make me, or it brings up an interesting point though, is that it'd be super cool to have like a UI that could work for like networked games. Not that everything has to be networked games. It's like people make single player stuff, but something like this, it wouldn't. I don't think that would work in NetPlay, right? Yeah, but that's super cool though, still. But yeah, oh, I love when people just make stuff that is completely like different from the original game concept, but it's still like that's super cool. It makes it seem like that could be like a fun little like build that as a foundation or something like that. Like that could even be potentially built into the core game, even if it's not used in like normal gameplay. Um, I always bring up Warcraft 3. Back in the day, I played a ton of Warcraft 3 minigames. That was a big inspiration for me starting on Bomb Squad, because so many people made so many cool minigames using the Warcraft 3 engine. And a big part of that was, that it was an RTS game, real time strategy, just like, StarCraft or Warcraft 2 or any of those, but it had like an inventory system and like a hero system. And so like all the mini games would use the heck out of that inventory system. So there'd be tons of mini games about heroes running around and that have their inventories, and so that's why so much stuff like Dota type games and all that like spawned out of Warcraft 3 mini games. So that makes me wonder like building an official or like cleaning up something like that and making it work with NetPlay and like making that easy to use. Like that could be something that people could use for some fun gameplay. But then that brings up the question of, if you really wanted it to be used or like possible to use in all situations, it would technically you need to have it work with like controllers or like multiple players on the same screen or something, which that gets more complicated too. It's like doable, but yeah, that goes into like you'd have to build it out of nodes or something like that and respond to controller inputs or something. But this totally, yeah, this is awesome for single player stuff. If you're building a single player adventure game, this looks great. What was this? Old screenshot. Me, was it like me proving that I am me or something? Or just showing, yeah, was it showing original stuff from the game? I don't remember. Arcade I was testing with. Oh, the one in the background there, like that, like it's hard. No, that's me. That's the arcade. That's me. Um, yeah. So the II Arcade it was called is yeah, it was a startup that was making an arcade cabinet, and yeah, I have the one back there. Unfortunately, the startup did not make it. They went that like their stuff was really cool. I like the arcade is really nice quality, but yeah, they went bankrupt this last year, um, which is a bummer. Uh, on the upside, there is still like a vibrant little modding community for like all the people that own those things. So everyone is kind of like hacking theirs and installing their own stuff and all that, which is very cool and lots of fun. So I've maybe been tinkering with some of that just to keep the thing alive and be able to keep playing around with it. Um, but yeah, it makes me realize like being able to tinker with it myself and do like that's a lot of fun. It was I think it was a big challenge for them. I'm assuming like the financial challenge of trying to get licenses for these like old arcade games so they could sell them legally and everything like that. Like that must have been really hard. They had a few games, like a few nice games like Double Dragon and stuff on there, like from back in the day. But I'm sure like making an arcade cabinet like that and getting all the games on it that people would actually want to play and doing that like legally, that seems like an impossible dream, unfortunately. So it seems like there's plenty of people who are able to put arcade cabinets together that if you're not worried about being fully legal, like that's a different story. But I'm sure that was made it challenging, like I said. Anyway, but it is a really cool arcade cabinet, and so I need to get an updated version of Bomb Squad on there now that I've restored access to it. It's basically a big Android device that's wrapped in an arcade cabinet. So just need to get a latest Bomb Squad on there. The one thing I will slightly criticize is they have like this like 6-button layout, and they picked like a button layout which I think for them worked pretty well for Bomb Squad, but like I was not used to it. Like so it was very different than like the diamond button layout that I'm just kind of have standardized on. So it's like, yeah, I definitely need to go back or play with the mapping if I put a new version on there, or just for myself. Burp, burp. Oh, did my hacking work? Yes, it did. There is. Yeah, there's actually a company that's selling just a little adapter you can like plug into the motherboard, which basically gives you a USB port, and then you can like use ADB and access the Android device. So then you can kind of just mess around with it. So it's great. So I'm happy. I feel bad the company's gone, but it's at least it's not like a paperweight. It's something I can install my own stuff on and play around with. Okay, how do the bots of Bomb Squad work? The bots of Bomb Squad are they are decently simple. If anyone hasn't played around with the bots, like the bot logic, if you go to source, it's all Python code, so you can completely go in there and replace their brains with one of your own. Source assets data Python. This is all in Scene V1. This is all the original gameplay stuff, which is Scene V1, and oh yeah, Scene V1 lib. Sorry, Scene V1 is like the building block. Scene V1 is the set of building blocks, and Scene V1 lib is all the junk built with those building blocks. So that's why there's kind of two separate packages. So Scene V1 lib is all the spazzes and actors and games and everything. So if you come under actor, there should be Spazbot. Yeah, Spazbot. So this here is just a lovely, I think long, not that long, Python file. I love where this is going. This is just like the Eric cinematic universe. Eric / Bomb Squad. I don't even know but my first thought is like, man, it looks like I need to like shower. Frozen Throne. It's me when I forget to turn the air conditioner off in the morning. Anyway, yeah, the Spaz bots are all here. So you can see there's a really dumb AI version of BS.Spaz. Has all these little values you can play with. And yeah, mostly little functions here. It's update AI this is just a little function that gets called once, I forgot how often, like 10 times per second or once every 5 times a second or something like that. And you can see all the logic here. Like if we're a flag bearer, okay, this usually doesn't apply because most of them aren't flag bearers. We're not a flag bearer. Okay. If we're holding anything but a bomb, drop it. Oh, I guess I must have had to put this in there because like they would accidentally pick up stuff like other players. So I didn't want to like have them just carry you around indefinitely. Don't want height to come into play. Yeah, you can see, so there's different things, like they have modes, like every Spazbot is doing a certain thing at a time, like I walk forward, I attack, I throw. So if we are in throw mode, then, do various things. Oh crap, we're holding a bomb, better throw it. If mode is charge, charge is where you're like running towards whatever your target is. I think these things, they all pick like a target. So they it does like it iterates through like all the other enemies, or in this case just like players, I guess, in the map. I forgot how it works by default. And it just like there's some math here to like pick the closest one, be like, hey, this is who I'm targeting. Mode is wait, mode is flee. Yeah, so they each have these little modes. Like flee is just like run away. Throw. I thought we already saw throw. Maybe not. Oh yeah, if mode equals throw. There must be multiple if statements going on here. Oh, oh yeah. If mode is not throw. Okay. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, this is all the logic, where it's just this weird little simple programmed brain where it's usually just like walk towards enemies, try to punch them if we're close. If we throw bombs and we're a certain distance, go ahead and throw one. Various handle message. Yeah, like if someone picks us up, do we do anything? Oh no, we just keep track of like who picked us up. I don't know why. Maybe for scoring purposes. Yeah, so this is basically it. And then you can see there's that base class, and then there's all these subclasses, and all the different bot AIs. They're basically just like messing with these values. So the spaz bot has these class values, which, if you know how Python works, there's class variables and instance variables. So variables declared here, like right in the class, there's just one of these for the entire class. So for spazbot, there is a single value called run. Even if there's like 10 different spazbots, there's a single run value on the class. And then if you declare something in here, like in the init, like this will declare instance variables, where if you did like self.run, that would declare something specific to that particular spaz. So, but anyway, most of the bots, they work by just this set of like class variables. So this just describes like how this bot behaves, how this particular class behaves. And so if you look at like the subclasses, there's all these different variations down here if we come past the spaz bot. So there's bomber bot. And so basically all these things just override little bits. So the character we use is spaz, which I think, what is the default? Did that even need to override that? If we come up to, come way up here again. Oh yeah, that didn't technically need to override that because the default character is spaz. So if we come down to BomberBot, yeah, we override the character to be spaz, which it already was, so that's redundant. And we turn punchiness, I assume, down. I think punchiness probably is higher. So this causes him to be less punchy and more bomby. Like BomberBot Light. And we change some colors. We make him even less punchy. Mess with his throw rate. And mess with like how fast he charges. So you can see basically that's it. So there's all these different variations on spaz that like have just different settings. BomberBot Pro, like the pro ones, this guy is more punchy, more throwy. He's able to run. Yada yada. Some of them, if we get down, BrawlerBot, you can see that's Kronk instead of spaz. Punchiness, he's very punchy. Yeah, at some point we start to give them shields and other things like that, like bouncy bot. Oh, that's Easter Bunny. ChargerBot, yeah, ChargerBot Pro shielded. Oh yeah, here we go. So he gets default shields. Point molt, I think that, yeah, for like single player stuff, that means you get more points if you kill him, stuff like that. So anyway, that's basically how the bots work. So if you want to mess with bots, what I would do is just come in here and like make your own bot and just override values and just, come up with something using the existing AI. Or you can mess with the existing AI and make your own thing. Like there's one case of, oh, I should scroll down. There's one case of messing with the AI. You can also mess with the AI per game. I'm trying to think. I think Runaround does that. So Runaround is basically, at the tower defense level where you're just trying to stop the spazzes from walking around and getting to the exit. And I think in here, it overrides the AI just to implement them like doing that. Let's see if I can find that spot. So here's where it defines all the waves. Or maybe it makes a custom bot. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's been so long since I coded this stuff. I don't remember. And reach end, on continue, burp, burp, burp. Or am I completely misremembering here? I'm looking for AI code. Start next wave. Oh yeah, here, update bot. Oh, okay, so maybe it's not actually, it's basically just, it's basically setting there like move up, down, move left, right values, stuff like that. Hmm. For some reason I was thinking it like overrode, like did an override of like their, all of their just like AI logic, but it looks like it's basically just like manually driving the bots around. Interesting. Okay, anyway, I'll stop digging around in there, but yeah, if you want to mess with bots, sorry, long story long. If you want to mess with bots, hopefully that gets you started. Sorry, I'm bad when I'm doing a demo. I just like completely ignore messages for like 5 minutes. So we need some way to like get my attention. Just like enough, Eric, shut up. Plan on how to fix this folder not creating in Android is can anyone see this? I'm not actually super familiar with this. Like, what's going on or what's not going on, or
No, it doesn't work on the latest Android version.
okay, is huh? Like Android 14, like the absolute latest.
I think so.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked too closely into that. That's um
Android 13 also it doesn't work.
okay. All right, I know I've seen posts about that, like the error that it's getting. It's like a permission denied error or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, interesting. I hope that's not bad news. I hope that doesn't mean that the app is not able to write there, because that wouldn't, I hopefully wouldn't make any sense. Because Android provides us with basically, you know, a little app specific directory, like a little playground on external media, and we should be able to, you know, write whatever we want into that from the app. Um, and so copying files like that should, you know, be the same thing. Um, huh. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Maybe after this I will take a look and see if I can reproduce that. Um, hmm. Or it could be like we're creating a directory and we're not like setting the right permissions on the directory or something, some like Unixy thing. Like if you create a directory that is, you know, set with chmod 60 or you know, like the wrong set of flags where for whatever reason it's not writable even to ourself, like that could be something. So maybe I'm hoping they didn't like lock stuff down further in Android 13 to where like we can't actually write stuff using low-level file APIs, because that would screw things over. that would screw us over real bad. I mean, they wouldn't have. I mean, hopefully they wouldn't have done that. Because this topic's come up before, where you know, Bomb Squad used to be able to create like a Bomb Squad directory at like the root level of your external drive or, you know, your removable media. But they locked that down in Android where a few versions ago, where that you can't do that anymore. You can still sort of create stuff anywhere, but you have to basically ask the user to pick a file or pick a path or whatever, and then you can only use Android APIs to like write to that direct path. You know, it's very limited, which makes sense because it's a shared area. They don't want apps to be able to like write over each other's stuff willy nilly. So it's very much just like the user can pick a file and the app is allowed to write to that file. But for the stuff we're doing, where we're, you know, writing tons of scripts and like doing all this automated stuff, that won't work for us. We don't, you know, we can't ask the user like, well, for two reasons. One, I assume the user could like pick a directory or something, but also Python itself needs to be able to write this stuff, and Python uses low-level, you know, C APIs, and so we can't rewrite Python to use Android's high-level file stuff. Like that's not feasible. So if, you know, we can't really have the game use folders that are only accessible through Android APIs. That's why the weird shared directory, it's always been like fully accessible, but hopefully that hasn't changed. So we'll have to look into it. Permission denied in logs. So this is weird. Instead of copying, it creates a temporary zip file and unzips them in the sys directory. So to me, that says it's a problem on the game end or on the engine end. Because in both cases, I mean, basically in both cases, it's the app doing the work. So that means the app should have access to that location. There's probably just maybe somehow the directory is getting created with weird permissions or something. Or it could be like the SHLEX module, which I think is the one that gets used to copy that stuff. Maybe that's like broken on Android or something like that. We'll have to take a look, but we should dig into that like permission denied, because it should not be denied. Like I said, if this works, this should work. So there must be something going on there, I think. What is this about backgrounding the... Whoop. Okay, BA-Base quits the game, quits the app. All right. One last thing. Is there documentation for BA-Base.quit? If there is, could you check that and just see if it mentions that it quits the game? Like I said, I revisited that stuff recently, and I tried to clean up the whole quit system so that it did something reasonable in most cases. So I just want to double check that if we're relying on the fact that BA-Base quits the game, that it says that that's what it's supposed to do. Because if it just happens to do that right now, but it'll change later, then this would break. So that's all I mean. Is it would be good to check the contract that function makes with us. App is given permission to write to Android data, net blah, 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 blah. Doesn't like application getting copied anywhere else. That's weird. So I mean, there must be more to it than this, because like the application is running and the application can access its own data. Otherwise, Python would not work and nothing would work. So like we can read the data, and if we can read the data, we can write the data. So maybe there's some weird, maybe like the copy functionality that they're using. Maybe Android somehow blocks that. Like if it's using like the CP command or something. I could see Android wanting to put something in place where you don't just like copy an entire APK or copy stuff off of disk. Well, but then again, like copying something on disk, you're basically just reading the file and writing it to another file. And we're already reading those files, like I said, because we're running Python. And so Python has to read those files. So yeah, I'm curious, there must still be some weird blockage there. Like something is, because it can't like allow us to read the files in some way, but not in another. Like it doesn't know our intention when we read those files. Oh my gosh. I saw this sphere, by the way, in Las Vegas. This thing is super cool. It's enormous. Do you know the arguments of quit? No, I don't, not offhand. Like I said, there's a few different, in recent-ish versions, I revamped quit a bit to try to make it, do something I think reasonable. If you come to Ballistica, downloads, changelog, quit. Okay, there's a little bit about it here. So this is BA-base.quit, which might be different than underscore BA-base. That's like the internal call. But yeah, the public-facing ones are BA-base.quit and yeah, on the C layer, C++ layer is GA-base quit app. So that's like the high-level things. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about. Those are like the high-level functions, where on Android, there's the soft argument, which is defaults to true. So basically that just backgrounds the app. But if you're using underscore BA-base.quit, that might actually just completely quit out. So we should check that. And I'm wondering if we should rename it in that case, because that's technically an internal function if it's got an underscore. We could just do it like exit process or really quit app, or just something to kind of make it unambiguous, because it right now it sounds like an internal version of these, which is why I was asking if there's like a soft argument that's true by default, stuff like that. So anyway, sorry if that is all confusing. I apologize, but yeah, we should just double check and or actually you could just call babase.quit with soft equals false. Like that might be the most explicit way. Like don't use the underscore babase. Like use this version. You know what I mean? Because this is like the public facing version. And so when things are public facing, I try to make them clearer in what they do. The internal stuff, like anything with an underscore in front of it, that's kind of like technically internal, and it could change or go away or get renamed. So yeah, that would be if possible, try babase.quit and do like soft equals false or whatever option it gives you to be like, no, like really quit this thing in a hard, not mobile sort of way. This is just I need a hat like that. It's like one of those, like the guards in London. Again, I believe scope storage is the thing where you have to use Android APIs, so it won't work for our cases. Unless I'm completely wrong here, but I believe scope storage basically lets the user pick places where you want to store files, but then you have to call like Java functions to store those files. We need Python to be able to store the files, and Python is not Java. But again, like if I'm wrong here, please let me know. But as far as I know, that's the limitation on scope storage. Yeah, exactly. Apps request access to a certain folder. After that, the app can read write in that folder and subfolders in them too, only using Java APIs. If I'm wrong on that part, please let me know. But that is the reason we cannot use it, is because you have to use Android-specific APIs, and Python needs to use Python code, which is not Android. It's low-level like C code, like open, fwrite, fclose, stuff like that. What is this? Oh gosh, what is it? Oh my gosh. Scary noises. That's fun. There's that brings up, I know this topic's come up before, the idea of like theming bombs or things like that, which I'm of this keeps getting worse. Two opinions on. Like, it could be cool as like a customizable thing to be able to like customize your bombs in some way, but I also feel that like the look of a bomb is very much, it tells you what kind of bomb it is, because there's so many different types of bombs. So if suddenly like bombs started looking different based on skins and things like that, I feel like that could very easily get confusing, where it's just like, what the heck bomb is this? That's definitely I feel like my biggest opinion whenever I play mods and stuff, like really fun mods, usually if I have any opinion, it's just like that there's a lot of stuff and it's confusing, or it can get confusing quickly, especially for new players. I think if you play the mod enough, or like if you're writing a mod, obviously you're kind of familiar with everything you're making, and it's easy to keep track of stuff. But I think for new players, I think it can get confusing pretty quickly. Like, oh my gosh, there's like 35 new bomb types, and I have no idea what anything is. So I kind of feel that skinnable bombs and themed bombs and stuff would make could make a situation like that even worse. So I don't know. That being said, like maybe there's some happy medium there where you could theme part of a bomb, or if it's done carefully, where it's very clearly still a certain type bomb. Um, why is the music so Beowulf? Which music is Beowulf? Like that was like that music? That's Flight of the Valkyries, which is like an old. Like everyone knows that, or not? Or Ride of the Valkyries. Um, I have read Beowulf back in high school, I believe. It's been a while. Bomb Squad APK doesn't use. Yes, the Bomb Squad APK does, but Python itself doesn't. And so for Python to be able to work in a directory, we'd have to let Python do whatever it's going to do. And rewriting Python in Java is, that would take years. So we can't let Python just use a directory that requires Java to access it, if that makes sense. That's why we have to be limited to directories where we have like full 100% real file system access, which used to be more. Now now we're confined to that one specific directory that Android gives us with that awkward path on, at least for external media. I mean, yeah, Python could be told like storage path equals path found via Java, but then when Python tries to open a file, it will say permission denied because it's not. You have to use like a very specific Android open this file that I'm allowed to open function, or something like that, as far as I know, which is only in Java or Kotlin, and it's a high level function, and it goes through the magical Android permission system where it knows that you have access to that file. And I don't think it's actually directly accessing that file. I think it's actually going through probably some Android pipe that is, Android is accessing that file, and then it's like feeding it to you through that Android function. So I'm pretty sure that won't work. Like I said, the Python could try to open something in that path, but I'm pretty sure it won't work at that point. I could double check, but I don't think. Oh, ba-base.quit, same as. All right. If they are the same thing, I would still, if you can, use ba-base.quit, just because that is the public version, and that's part of the reason of having like public functions and private functions. Is the public function that's an agreement that I'm going to try to not change that, or I'm going to try to advertise what it's doing and not change the behavior. Whereas like ba-base.quit, this is this little underscore here means like this is part of like the internal workings of the system, and if this changes or gets renamed or whatever, like I'm not going to feel too bad about that. So that's the idea, is like whenever you can use a public version of something, try to use the public version. I mean, we know realistically like things do break and I do change things and whatever, but like this will help minimize the amount of breakage, or at least reduce it. So yeah, like I said, if you can do ba-base.quit with soft equals false, if that's something you can do from there, like I would suggest doing that. The scary thing. ba-base and mod utils.py. You can just import it. I mean, ba-base should be available from anywhere, so import ba-base. I would just replace import ba-base with import the non-underscore version. Or let's see, where does this live? Oh, this lives in ba-base. Oh, okay. So yeah, because this is part of ba-base. Okay, so this actually changes something. Sorry, I was thinking. Actually, these mod utils should almost be somewhere else. Okay, forget everything I just told you, because yeah, if code lives in ba-base, then yeah, it should be using the internal stuff. So I guess it's probably fine. Okay, forget everything I just said. That's kind of what, like, another rule is like, if for myself, is if I'm writing code within a package like this, I don't import the top level package from within that package, because that causes weird dependency ambiguities and things like that. So So any code under BA base only uses the internal stuff, like underscore BA base, things like that. So anyway, yeah. Long story short, go ahead and go ahead and use the internal version in that case. If you can show me that this is the case, I mean, are you able to compile things for Android? Like, if you can show me some code that asks Android to pick a directory and then, or just if you can show me online something that says you have low-level access to that directory once the user has chosen it, um, then maybe we could work with that. Again, I could be totally wrong. I vaguely remember reading about this, and I thought it was like Java APIs that you had to use to access those files. And I heard that that file access was actually kind of slow because it's going through like some security layer. It's not actually opening those files directly. So if I'm wrong about that, or if something has changed, then maybe we could give Python low-level access to that stuff, which that could be cool. That still opens up like some weird corner cases. Like if you uninstall and reinstall the app, does it forget that it had access to that? And you might have to ask the user to, like, hey, please reselect your Python directory. But I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world. So that could be something we could do. It's totally true. There have been times when I've been like working on Bomb Squad on the plane. I do feel a little self-conscious, just like I hope I need to stay out of the bomb.py script while I'm there. But anyway, yeah, if you want to look into that, thank you in advance. Not trying to be confrontational or shoot down your idea. It'd be super cool to be able to do that. Last I checked, it sounded like it wouldn't be possible. But again, maybe I'm wrong. So I'd love to be wrong. Yes. Please don't shoot. It There are a number of things in there that were put in there, and because on Onslaught Pro there's a round unused. Is it just like an empty round, or like what? I'm curious. Any bot code? Hmm. I don't know. Like I honestly don't remember doing that on purpose. So there could be some weird historical reason if there's like just an empty round. That's funny. And I do intend to get Android APK buildable up on just the public repo. For that one, I mean, my current plan is just to wait until at least there's a tiny bit of squads mode going, and then do that. Because once I start to lean on squads mode, then I don't care if people are making weird hacked Android versions. Once more competitive stuff is running on my own servers, then like hacking the client doesn't matter at all, or as much at least. So at that point, then I want to make it as easy as possible for people to like make their own weird hacked clients. So that is on the radar. I would love for people to be able to make Android stuff. I mean, I guess I'd need to be a little bit careful still. Like, I don't want them hacking it in, I don't know, like just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like things that could go bad, like someone distributing I don't know, a bad version of the game or something with a bunch of offensive stuff added or whatever. But that's always going to be a possibility with anything. I could always put like a kill switch in there or something too for like the internal code. It's something where it's like if I detect someone's doing something nefarious, I can make the internal stuff stop working. Of course, they could hack that to shut that down too. But anyway, Sorry, getting off on a weird mental tangent. Currently traveling in California. Really? That's cool. Where in California? I mean, are you just? Oh, nice. San Diego is awesome. I love San Diego. It feels. I feel like it feels the most like vacationy out of anywhere in California to me. So I'm currently in LA, which is 2 hours north of there. But yeah, San Diego is great for hanging out on the beach and enjoying the sun and stuff like that. LA is it's good too. I feel like it's less vacationy feeling, but there's still cool stuff in LA. San Francisco is my favorite place ever. That's where I've lived most of my adult life. So that's where I was last week for GDC. If you can make it up there, I love it. It's just a very like compact, walkable city, um, which is great. Like LA, you definitely need a car. LA is just like this sprawling, massive. It almost doesn't even feel like a city. It's just like this like suburb that never ends. There's just bajillions of people here. There's like lots of interesting stuff, but it's all like very spread out, and you got to kind of explore a bit. But yeah, San Diego is great. Just hang out in San Diego. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I have like hiked up to the Hollywood sign. There's a few things that are kind of fun to do around here. Um, but yeah, that's like for me. I'm more of a San Francisco person because I feel like the vibe in San Francisco is more like tech nerds and like weird quirky art people and stuff like that, which is like I kind of like that. I feel like the vibe in LA is a bit more just like cool cars and attractive people and movie stars and stuff. And so I mean that's fine too. It's just like I don't feel quite like the draw to LA that for me San Francisco is more like my people. Bollywood. Um, and San Diego, just like I said, it feels just like fun vacationy place. So everyone loves fun vacationy places. And then between all those, there's a lot of empty space. I mean, if you like, there's a lot of cool nature in California, just like seeing the giant redwoods and things like that. It's a lot of just like empty, flat terrain too. Like between, if you're driving between, it's like a 6 hour drive from LA up to San Francisco, and there's a lot of kind of empty, boring, flat driving in the middle. But there are a lot of neat, picturesque places to go to. If you have a lot of time and you do the drive like along the coast, like Highway 1, like that's super pretty. It's a lot of just like really like high up roads over the water and things like that. It takes a long time to, it's like twice as long to drive that way. Going from, San Francisco to LA is like 12 hours on Highway 1 along the coast versus like 6 hours on the boring highway. But I think it's totally worth it if you have time. Yeah, California, it's so long. Like I said, well, it's weird. If you look at California, it's like Northern California, as they call it. Sorry, getting super into California here. Okay, so here's me right now. I'm right at the Santa Monica Pier. You've probably seen this in movies, the Santa Monica Pier. But if you go 5 blocks from the Santa Monica Pier, that's where I am. And then then up here is the Bay Area, so San Francisco, where I like to be, my bridge and everything. Uh, and then it's funny, like above that, there's like so much of California above that. Like the Bay Area is almost like in the middle of California. We all call it Northern California, but like there's all this up here. Nobody really knows what's up there. I've never been up there. There's something up there. And then all this to Portland and Oregon and Seattle. Like once you get way up here, there's Portland and Seattle. But this whole space here, like that would be fun to go through sometime. Big chunk of the coast. Not sure what's there. Then you're down here, San Diego. Say hi to Mexico. It's right across the border. Cool. All right. Yeah, that looks good. So I'll pull that in. I think that sounds reasonable. Play Oregon Trail. Was Oregon Trail a thing for like people outside the U.S.? Because that was here in the U.S. I remember like playing that in school growing up. Like we'd go down to like the old Apple II computers, and play some Oregon Trail. Everyone would die of dysentery and all that stuff. It was so much fun. My brother's bachelor party. This was a while ago, like 10 years when he got married. But we part of his bachelor party, we played Oregon Trail. It was glorious. we should do that like one of these weeks. Like we're not gonna play Bomb Squad this week. We're gonna play Oregon Trail. Or if someone should make an Oregon Trail mod for Bomb Squad. It's just like a map and like little spazzes walking across. Some of them dying, trying to ford rivers and things. That'd be glorious. We do have half an hour more. Yeah, I'm down to play. If someone want to spin up a server over Europe, Asia, somewhere over there where most folks are. Oh no, I'm so sorry, fellow iPhone person too. I'm on an iPhone as well. I would show you, but it's currently my camera. So. Oh, Kindle Fire. Oh, cool. Glad to, yeah, I just updated the Amazon version, as I mentioned. So everyone is on equal footing right now. I think every version of Bomb Squad should be the same build at the moment. Got the East. Oh yeah, everyone should have the Easter update. Wait, was this me? Was I what? I was like, was I showing McDonald's? I did like a double take here because I was actually driving down whenever I came home several days ago. So I was probably like looking for McDonald's to grab lunch at some point. So I was like, wait, is this actually my map? To be fair, there's relatively few McDonald's like in San Francisco or like relative to most of America, I feel. Which is kind of a bummer if you're looking for fast food. It's a little bit harder to get it in like some big cities than it is just like driving through the middle of nowhere. There's a McDonald's every like 10 feet and a Starbucks. I think I've seen that. Yeah, is that the one where like throwing, or there's some celebration where people like throw colors and do like clouds of color, or is it more just like painting with color? Yeah. Dan Francisco, what? High level, low level API and BS. You mean like the Python versus the C++ API? When you say high level versus low level? I could create a server. I mean, yeah, I could, but then it would create one like near me. So that's why if there's anyone, I would say, I mean, you folks are, in general, you folks are over here somewhere, right? So I don't know, is there anyone that can make a server in Central Europe or in India or anything like that? Oh my God, India would be even worse for me. Yeah, my lag is usually pretty bad going to Europe. I'm sure it would be horrific, but I don't know. Europe seems like anyone in Europe can make a. Does anyone in Europe right now make a server? Just post a public party. Give us a number. I should set. I mean, I technically could host a server anywhere. Let me think. Or there might be. I mean, we could just see if there's like an unused server. Like just one of the like public Europe ones, if there's like no people in there. Of course, that's only five slots though. FFA Germany 3? I don't know. Oh God, Sauron is in Germany. FFA Germany 3. Yeah, FFA Germany 3. Burp. That makes me wonder, like, should I change the public servers to be more than 5? Like, I think the free-for-alls are 5 players by default. Do you think, should I pump it up from that, or do you think 5 is reasonable? Yeah, I think we're at capacity. Oh no. So if I create a private server, it's going to create it in America, which means, like, is anyone else playing from from the US? It means, like, all of you are going to have terrible lag, so that's why I wanted to do something in Europe. Let me think. Is there some way I could... Well, if you just want to wait till I finish client prediction, if y'all don't mind hanging out here for a few months. Though even with client prediction, like, lag will still matter. It'll just, like, matter in hopefully fewer ways. Because even with client prediction, like, the prediction gets it wrong sometimes, and the laggier it is, that means, like, the more it has to rewind, or the more it has to, like, undo. So I think there'll still be a difference in client predicted games between laggy and non-laggy servers. It'll just be, like, hopefully less. Right, no tag. I don't know who you are, but going down. Can you do tricks? Not really. I mentioned before, like, I feel like the best I ever was at this was when I was writing the single player campaigns. I got pretty good about taking on bots, but I'm terrible at taking on humans. Ah, timing's way off. It's an interesting point. Like, some people, I feel like epic mode online sometimes works better just because it's less susceptible to lag. Which makes me wonder, like, I wonder if there's, like, a middle ground or something, like if the gameplay was just, like, a little bit slower or something, where, like, lag could not be as big of a deal. I wonder if that would ever work. Yeah, I think I picked, like, 5 and 6 players just because that seemed like reasonable limits for, you know, your average Android player or low-end phone. I didn't want to be, like, overloading people's limited bandwidth. So I'll probably keep it at that, unless people feel like that's way too low. But the game uses too much bandwidth anyway, so I didn't want to, like, push it too hard. Or you guys want to do teams? I mean, we could flip to a team server, then one extra person could play. Alright, let's do teams. Alright, I'll hop out. Ah. That's a good point, so... Alright, should we do EU North or Germany? I'm wondering what would be better. Teams Germany 2. That sounds good. Okay. Hello. No, Mr. Dong. Oof. Dang, Mr. Dong. Oh no! No, 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 no! Well played. Oof. Oof. I know, man. I'm always like, it always blows me away, like hopping into play with all you pro players. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is a different game. Like I've never played this game before. This is like Insanity Squad. Like I said, most of the time when I'm playing, it's just like with friends or family or, you know, people who have maybe never played. Like, look, just threw me across there. That's awesome. How's that even possible? Yeah, Teams Germany too. If you, oh, whoops, sorry, that was like half an hour ago. Oh yeah, there was a PR in this version for, yeah, the additional respawn indicator things. Which I feel like are more helpful in, like, epic mode. But they're still nice here, too. Yeah, it could be if you're connecting from long distance, the bandwidth could just be not keeping up. You could watch my screen on the stream. I'm sure that's not laggy at all. But yeah, I do really want to get the game's bandwidth down. As I mentioned, like right now, server costs are like kind of huge for me, like spinning up all these servers all over the world and trying to make all that work. And the biggest part of that is bandwidth. So just, you know, all the bytes I'm sending over the pipe to everyone playing the game. So it's really interesting to like code something knowing that, you know, if you use like a 16-bit integer versus a 32-bit integer, that's literally half the cost. It's weird like thinking about those bytes as having a cost. So it's like, do I need 32 bits for this? That's expensive. So it'll be interesting for like Scene V2 or, you know, whatever the upcoming version is where the net play will be kind of revamped, or if client prediction helps on that. Like, it'll be a fun little challenge to like see if I can just get the bandwidth way down, is all I'm saying. As I'm running around doing nothing in the game, like, can't talk and play at the same time. Ah, oh, whoa. Mr. Dong. Quite the punch. Dang, that was... I gotta like save that replay. That was just like this running punch and my head went flying. Man. All right. Ah! Oops. Oh no, it's Mr. Dong. It's Mr. Dong. Run away! Run away! Oh, I almost escaped. Ah. Yay! Contributed a lot laying there frozen. Yeah. Oh! No, 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 no! My bad. Check if copy messages. Oh, how do you do that again? Like copied to clipboard, someone captured. Okay. I'm gonna paste this into chat. Hey, it worked! Cool. That has been like a fun, interesting thing about like, you know, open sourcing this and all the cool contributions you guys do. It's just like, it's like my own game. It's just gaining features. Neat. Or it's our own game. It's you guys have done a lot with it too, so. Oof. Like, not having seen it before, the little, you know, the little dots, for whatever reason, it feels more like RTS or something. It's like it's like reminds me of like you're spawning a unit or something. So you're seeing a little progress bar. Oops. If by running away you mean like running off the cliff repeatedly. Oh. Took someone down with me at least. Where'd everyone go? Did people just go like kicked out or did everyone leave? What just happened? Oh, giving other people turn. Okay. That's cool. Oh, nice throw. Protect your god. Oh, jeez. I think I mentioned before, it is funny sometimes if I'm like testing something, I'll just join a random server and they'll like vote kick me like 10 seconds later, like, get out here, noob, stuff like that. It's like, if you only knew. I need my smite with lightning button. India server? Did you want to... Someone want to host in India, or what do you mean? Like, I'm down to join anywhere. I'm sure India will be more laggy for me, but it'll be an interesting test of... do we all want to switch to team at India? Is that... Merp? Is that confirmed? Is that one open? Like, is there enough, is it empty? Is there space for us? Okay. I mean, it does sound like there's a decent amount of people in Europe, so I don't know. Maybe we should stay if you guys are okay. I'm open to whatever, but yeah. I wonder if we should show everyone's ping in here or something like that. I wonder if that would be useful. I mean, a lot of games do that, you know. Five minutes. Okay, all right. How about after this round, I'll hop in India for the last 5 minutes. I am morbidly curious what the lag is like. All right. So which one teams at India? One? Oh, that's full. Merp. India B1? Oh, B1? Okay. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, a little worse lag, not terrible. Good deal. Stupid join limits. Who added those? Wait, what team should I be? I'm so confused. Red, right? All right. It does make me wonder. I mean, this is like definitely laggy, but it's, you know, it's not unplayable. It makes me wonder with like good client prediction if this would be, you know, possible to play competitively. You know what I mean? Do you consider delay different than lag? I feel like I lump them all together. It's like, it's kind of a consistent delay, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it's like starting and stopping. Yeah, to me, like, I just consider lag and delay the same thing. Oof. Ah. But yeah, it gets me wondering for like squads mode in terms of you know, like how far out for matchmaking should it try to like match people? Because in some cases, you know, like if crap. If you allow it to match you with people like further out, then you can do like quicker matchmaking, but then some people have more lag. So it'll be an interesting thing to try and balance. Oops. Kick Larry. Do we want to kick Larry? Yeah, is there like a... I am curious, like, is there a, like, pro gamers, is there like a considered what is an acceptable lag for... You said 70 to 80 milliseconds for FPS. I'd be curious, like, different genres, is it different? I mean, obviously, like, real-time strategy or certain games where, like, lag isn't... Oh, no! Isn't a big factor. Like, you can allow for more, but... It'd be interesting to see, like, what client prediction would do for this, like, how playable it would be. Alright, one more round, then I should cut it off for the day. Nobody pay attention to my bad playing. Like I said, I'm in kind of like half playing, half chatting mode, so I'm not expecting to be great. Oh geez. For here, like the client prediction, it'll be interesting because if it works well, I think things like running around and throwing bombs, that should feel pretty lag-free. But what I don't know is like how it'll feel for like punching and grappling and stuff, because that stuff still will... It kind of depends on, you know, the server latency and stuff. Because when it's only your character inputting some stuff, like then you can predict pretty perfectly. But if there's another player that's also factoring in, then prediction, you know, it might have to like rewind and replay and like do all the crazy stuff that prediction does. So that'll be, I am really curious to see what it comes out as. If I can ever get it to that point. I really hope I will. But it's not like #1 on the priority list. But if you think about it, like streaming games is becoming a bigger and bigger thing, and there is no client prediction in streaming. So that means, you know, if you're playing a GeForce Now or some streaming game, it's basically there's it's kind of how this works, where you're just like, your controls get sent to a server and an image comes back from the server. And there's, you know, that's like not client prediction. I mean, I hope I will too for the client prediction stuff. I'm really curious how that'll come out. Like if that'll make it harder to write mods and things like that, or if, you know, mods by default won't work with client prediction, or like that. There are some like big technical challenges. Because there is simplicity in how things work right now, where it's just like basically you write Python that affects the server, and then, you know, that streams movement to the clients. But for client prediction, like the server is actually running some of the simulations. So, as I run off the cliff. Sorry, I figure I'm playing terribly whether or not I'm talking about coding, so I might as well talk about coding. Okay, alright, I'll go after this series. I was going to say after the round, but we're only a few minutes over. I mean, for me, coding is fun. I'm sure some of you guys feel that way if you're doing mods and stuff. For me, that's almost like playing a game. It's like building something. I think people get the same like thrill out of, you know, writing a script as they do in like, you know, building a city in SimCity or something. You know, it's like you're putting together this little thing that keeps getting better. So that's why I feel guilty sometimes that I don't play enough games. You know, I should play more diverse set of games, but if I have free time, I'm just like, I want to sit down and code. Water and bombs. Oh my gosh, water. Water is one of those things. It's just like, it's so hard to make it look good. I mean, you can, like in very limited cases, you know, you can do like a cool ripply pond or a... But even then, like you gotta write a cool shader and like deal with the reflections. But then like trying to make splashes or, I don't know, ugh, it's just hard. And like it seems exciting. It seems like something where you could do some cool like water simulations on like high-end hardware if you're writing for like, you know, newest PlayStation or something. But if you're trying to write something that works on you know, an average Android phone, it's like there's not a ton of extra horsepower to work with. Ooh. I lag timed that perfectly. It is interesting, like you play lag, like you just learn to like punch a half second early. Like I'm sure you could probably get like decently good at playing with lag. As I fling myself off a cliff. Took him with me at least. Not following my tips. Oh, well, yeah. The mind is willing, but the body is weak. Or whatever they say. Oh. Oh, big finale. Uh-oh. Of course it's Meteor Shower. Which also had a recent bug fix, I believe. There used to be an issue where like if the game ended too quick, you'd hear the bell twice, but apparently that's fixed, I believe. Oh, that advice, yes. I did. It's like I forgot that little bit of advice. It's from a long time ago. Oh my gosh, we won. All right. I know. That's probably not the best strategy for Meteor Shower. Do not push the bomb around. All right, well I gotta duck out here. That was fun though. I'm pleasantly surprised that was enjoyable, even, you know, despite. I mean, I think that's about as far around the world as one can get. Let me go back to the map. So I am here, and that was here. So I mean, yeah, that's like basically almost like as far across the globe as possible. Maybe, you know, I'm sure there's some combination where it's like literally across the globe would probably be like in the middle of the Indian Ocean. But that's not too bad. So yeah, cool. That makes the world feel smaller. I'm sure there's other countries with like worse infrastructure and stuff too. I don't know, like maybe somewhere like South Africa or something like that. So there's probably worse situations we could get into, but still, hooray. Oh, 100 commits in Bomb Squad. All right, well, I might have to go do that then. I would just do it right now, like for like a ceremonial thing, but it takes a moment. Basically, what I have to do to make it go through the cleanest, I have to like sync my internal repo up to the public repo, and then pull in PRs, just because that makes it go through more smoothly, and that the syncing process takes a few minutes. So I'll probably do that, and then I'll sync it back to my internal repo. So. Yeah. All right. Anyway, it's been fun, folks. Yeah. So everyone have a good week. good. Well, probably 2 weeks. I will probably keep up with the pattern of doing these every 2 weeks. So I'll probably be back in two, unless I get asset packages or something really cool working by next week to show you all. But that might be pushing it. We'll see. 1.8 when, as soon as possible. I am definitely in like get 1.8 done mode. So I'm really hoping. Like I said, I was gonna say this spring, but I feel like it's already getting close to the end of spring. So this season, in this next month or two, yeah, it should be wrapping up. So yeah, it's. I mean, we have been in 1.7 for a lot longer than I think 1.6 or 1.5. I think those were about a year each. I think it's been like a year and a half now in 1.7. So we're due for an update. So, all right. So I'm gonna get off of here. I will try to respond to some of you folks, try to get some PRs pulled in, and then I will get back to work on 1.8. So everyone, it's been fun. I will see all of you guys next time. So peace out. 3024. No, it's sooner than that.